guys, it's Sam and this is Top 5 Wednesday. If you are new to Top 5 Wednesday, I will leave a link to the Goodreads group down below for topics and such. This week's topic is our favorite minor characters. So these are more minor than side characters. Like, these are smaller characters. Not necessarily in size, but just in amount of time on the page. You know, and everyone's gonna have a different kind of opinion about what makes a completely minor character, but you know, not like Hermione and Ron. Like, these are trying all the characters that are, you know, like random Quidditch players. What's the guy's name? Oliver Wood? Like, Oliver Wood would be like a minor character, and like Ron's a side character. You see what I'm saying? So number 5 is Marsh from the Mistborn trilogy. Marsh is an interesting character because he hops in and out of the trilogy, so I can't really say like much about him, but I liked him in the first book. He kind of is playing this, like, he's infiltrating the government system, right? And then he pops up in later books and he's like, he's interesting, but some messed up stuff has happened to him. So whenever he pops up, you're kind of like, But I like seeing him. I think he's interesting. I think his whole story is interesting. I don't really feel like it was completely wrapped up as well I would have liked it to be, because I don't think he continues into the later series or anything, but he's an interesting one where I'm like, oh, I like you, and then I'm like, wait, creepy. Number 4 is Ilsa from This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. She is one of the siblings of one of the protagonists, and I love everything about her. Like, I want an entire book about her. She could maybe be considered a side character, but I think her part is so minor in this that she's a minor character, at least in this first book. I hope we get to see a ton more of her in the second book and she becomes like an actual side character that's like prevalent, but I could take a whole novel about her. I think she's great. She's like the personification of a death goddess, and it really speaks to me. These top 3 characters are the characters I was really thinking of when I came up with this topic, and they were hard to kind of rank, but number 3 is Edward from the Anita Blake series. Edward is one of the only other prevalent human characters. He's definitely still a minor character because he doesn't pop up very often. He becomes a side character in certain books, but he isn't around super often. He's one of the only other human characters in this series that's like more prevalent, and he is a like bounty hunter in this world. And he hunts like monsters and stuff the same way that Anita does, except for Anita actually has like superhuman abilities and he doesn't. And he does that because he thinks that humans are too easy. He is one of my favorite kind of anti-hero, anti-villains. The main character, Anita, knows that at some point, if they ever were to come up against one another, they wouldn't know who would come out alive. He has a different kind of moral compass. Things with him get very murky as time goes on and as his character develops. He is so cool, but they have like a good, solid friendship. They really respect one another professionally and personally, but he's one of those characters that like you never quite know what's going to happen, and you never really find anything about him predictable. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And it's great too because he's not a love interest at all. Anita has a lot of love interests in this story as the story progresses, but he is not one of them as far as I know, because I haven't read some of the more recent books. But he is one of my favorite minor characters because he's just the epitome of a morally gray character, bordering on like bad. He's great. Number 2 is Tsukiko from the Night Circus, and I can't say a ton about her because it would be considered a spoiler, but she is a minor character, she's a part of the circus, and you get a ton of her little backstory. I say a ton of her little backstory. You get a little of her backstory, but it's a nice little chunk. And I could take a whole novel about her. I adore her. I adore her personality. I had no problem picturing her. She's so interesting, and we're never going to get like a story about her. And it hurts me because I think about her like all the time. And number 1 is the dynamic duo that is Harshaw and Onkat from Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. They are a part of Alina's kind of crew in the last book, and they're very minor characters. They're not around a ton, but they are so interesting, and I love them. I love Harshaw so much, and Onkat is his cat, and he like talks to his cat, and like they have like this really like kind of odd, eccentric personality and stuff. But I love him, and we didn't get enough of him. Honestly, it's a robbery. Like, I could take a whole little novella on him. Like, I want to know his backstory. I want to know things about him, and I'm never gonna know. And I'm upset because he's great, and I miss him. I miss them all. I mean, honestly, this is the Grisha trilogy we're talking about. I constantly miss these characters all the time, but like, And he's not even that well-known of a character, so it's not like there's like fan fictions out there about him that I could like read. He's just out there ignored in favor of other characters who are also great, but he's really great, and I want more from him and his cat. So comment down below, let me know some of your favorite minor characters. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!